You know that moment, when someone pushes you too far? When you've been quiet, and patient, and respectful for years, and then something inside you just snaps? Well, that happened to me 3 months ago. My mother was screaming. Actually screaming. Her voice echoing through the house like a banshee. My house, my rules. If you don't like it, get out. I stood there, in the kitchen doorway, holding my car keys. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, but from pure, concentrated rage. Because you see, it wasn't her house. The mortgage? I paid it. The electric bill that kept her precious air conditioning running? Me. The water bill, the internet, the groceries in her fridge, all me. But she didn't know that I knew, that she didn't know. If that makes sense. I looked at her, standing there in her bathrobe, pointing her finger at me like I was some ungrateful teenager. But I wasn't a teenager anymore. I was 28 years old. I had a master's degree. I had a career. And I had been paying for everything. Fine, I said. My voice was calm. Too calm. I'll leave. She blinked. Like she expected me to argue, to beg, to apologize. But I didn't. I walked out. Got in my car. And I drove away. The next morning, she called me 17 times. 17. I didn't answer. Because at exactly 9 a.m., the power company had cut off her electricity. At 10 a.m., the water stopped running. By noon, her internet was gone. And by 3 p.m., she finally understood what my house, my rules really meant. Because it turns out, when you've been secretly paying someone's bills for 3 years, and you suddenly stop, reality hits pretty fast. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. Let me tell you exactly how a spoiled, entitled woman learned the hardest lesson of her life. And why. I don't feel sorry for her. Not even a little bit. My mother, Patricia, has never worked a day in her life. Not one day. She married my father when she was 19, straight out of high school. He was 25, had a decent job at the bank, and, well, she was pregnant with me. Dad worked 2 jobs to support us. I remember him leaving at 6 a.m. for his banking job, coming home at 4 p.m., wolfing down dinner, and then heading out to his second job, stocking shelves at the grocery store until midnight. Mom? She stayed home. Watched her soap operas. Complained about being tired. When I was 7, Dad had a heart attack. Massive one. He was 33 years old. And just like that, we had nothing. Well, almost nothing. There was a small life insurance policy. About $50,000. Not much, but it could have lasted a while if we were careful. Mom wasn't careful. She bought a new car. A bright red convertible. I deserve this, she said. After everything I've been through. I remember sitting in the back seat, 7 years old, asking where we were going to live. Because the bank was foreclosing on our house. Don't worry about grown-up things, she snapped at me. But I did worry. Because someone had to. We ended up moving in with my grandmother. Mom's mother. And let me tell you. Grandma Rose didn't tolerate nonsense. Patricia, she would say, that child needs new shoes. Her toes are sticking out. I know, Mom, but money is tight. Money wouldn't be tight if you got a job. Mom would huff, and puff, and storm off to her room. Like a teenager. Meanwhile, I learned how to do my own laundry at age 8. I learned how to make sandwiches for school lunch. I learned how to be invisible, so I wouldn't be another problem for anyone to deal with. When I turned 16, I got my first job. Cashier at a local grocery store. $4.25 an hour. Mom's reaction? Finally, you can start contributing to this household. contributing to a household where I already did my own laundry, made my own food, and asked for nothing. But I gave her half my paycheck anyway. Because Grandma Rose was getting older, and the bills were piling up. Grandma Rose died when I was 18. Left the house, to me. Not to Mom. To me. The will was very specific. To my granddaughter, who has shown more responsibility in 18 years than my daughter has in 40. Mom was furious. Furious. That's my inheritance, she screamed. I'm her daughter. And I'm her granddaughter who took care of her, I said quietly. But here's the thing. I felt guilty. Mom was my mother. She had nowhere else to go. She had no job, no savings, no skills. So I made a deal with her. She could live in the house. For free. Forever. I would pay the bills. I would handle the maintenance. I would take care of everything. All she had to do was treat me with basic human respect. That was 10 years ago. 10 years of me working full-time, going to college at night, getting my degree, building my career. 10 years of her treating the house like a hotel. Leaving messes for me to clean. Eating food I bought. Using utilities I paid for. 10 years of you're so selfish, and you never think about anyone but yourself, and I sacrificed everything for you. But the worst part? She started telling people that she owned the house. Her friends. The neighbors. Even my own relatives. Oh, yes, I'm so blessed to have my own place. It's so nice to be independent. Independent. While I paid her mortgage. Let me know in the comments where you are watching this video from. I'd love to know. Because I want to know, am I crazy? Or would you have snapped too? 3 months ago, everything changed. It was my cousin Sarah's wedding. Big, fancy affair at the country club. The kind of wedding where everyone dresses up and pretends to be classier than they actually are. I had worked overtime for 2 weeks to afford a decent dress. Nothing too fancy, just appropriate. A navy blue dress from Macy's. It was on sale, but it looked nice. Mom, of course, had bought herself a new outfit. Designer dress, new shoes, professional hair and makeup appointment. How did you afford all that? I asked her that morning. She waved her hand dismissively. Oh, I have my ways. Her ways. Right. We drove to the wedding together. Me driving, obviously, since it was my car. She spent the entire 20-minute drive complaining. The invitation said cocktail attire. I hope you're not planning to embarrass me in that dress. It's a nice dress, Mom. If you say so. When we arrived, the drama started immediately. My Aunt Linda was there. Mom's sister. The one who always acted like she was better than everyone because she married a lawyer. Patricia. Aunt Linda squealed. You look amazing. And that dress. So expensive looking. Mom preened. Actually preened. Well, you know me. I have good taste. And your house? I drove by last week. The new landscaping looks incredible. I froze. New landscaping? Oh, yes, Mom said, laughing. I hired a professional company. It wasn't cheap, but when you own your own home, you want it to look perfect. Own. Her. Own. Home. I stared at her. Just stared. Aunt Linda turned to me. You're so lucky, honey. Having a mother who's so successful. So independent. Independent, I repeated slowly. Oh, absolutely, Mom jumped in. I've worked so hard to get where I am. The house is completely paid off. No mortgage, no debt. It's such a blessing. No mortgage. No debt. I was paying a $1,500 mortgage every single month. But I didn't say anything. Not yet. We were at a wedding. Family was around. I smiled. Nodded. Made polite conversation. But inside, something was building. During dinner, it got worse. Mom was holding court at our table. Telling everyone about her house, her investments, her financial success. The secret, she said, taking a sip of wine, is learning to be completely self-reliant. I don't depend on anyone for anything. Self-reliant. While I had literally transferred money from my account to hers that morning to cover her credit card bill. My cousin Jake leaned over. Your mom is amazing. I wish I could be that financially stable at her age. Yeah, I said quietly. She's something. After dinner, we went to the bathroom together. Just the two of us. That's when she said it. You know, you should really find yourself a wealthy man. Like I did with your father. Dad worked 2 jobs, Mom. He wasn't wealthy. She shrugged. Well, he provided for us. That's what men are supposed to do. And what are women supposed to do? She looked at me like I was stupid. We're supposed to be smart enough to find men who will take care of us. What about taking care of ourselves? She laughed. Actually laughed. Honey, that's what men are for. Why would I work when I can live comfortably without working? But you're not living comfortably without working. I'm the one working. I'm the one paying for your comfortable life. She stopped applying her lipstick. Looked at me in the mirror. Excuse me? The house, Mom. The bills. The mortgage. The groceries. The insurance. All of it. I pay for all of it. Her face went blank for a moment. Then she smiled. That condescending smile I knew so well. Sweetheart, you live in my house. Of course you contribute to the household expenses. That's how families work. It's not your house. Of course it is. Grandma Rose left it to me. Remember? I have the deed. My name is on the mortgage. My name is on every single bill. She turned around to face me directly. Listen to me very carefully, she said, her voice low and dangerous. I am your mother. I gave birth to you. I raised you. I sacrificed everything for you. The least you can do is take care of me in my old age. You're 58, Mom. You're not elderly. You're just lazy. The slap came so fast, I didn't see it coming. My cheek stung. The bathroom went silent except for the sound of the ventilation fan. Don't you ever, she hissed, speak to me that way again. I touched my cheek. Looked at her in the mirror. Or what? Or you can find somewhere else to live. My house, my rules. If you don't like it, get out. That's when I realized, she actually believed it. She actually believed the house was hers. She had convinced herself so completely, that she forgot the truth. So I decided, it was time to remind her. Before I tell you what I did next, if you're enjoying the story, please subscribe. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Because what happened next, changed everything. I walked out of that bathroom, with a plan. Not a complicated plan. Not an elaborate scheme. Just, a simple plan. I was going to stop paying her bills. All of them. But first, I was going to let her dig her hole a little deeper. We went back to the reception. Mom immediately started up again with her stories. Her house, her success, her independence. I sat there. Quietly. Listening to every lie. And then, Aunt Linda said something that made my blood boil. Patricia, you should really give some advice to the younger generation. Like your daughter here. Teach her how to be successful like you. Mom looked at me. Smiled that fake smile. Well, the first thing I would tell her is that she needs to stop being so entitled. Some people think the world owes them something. They think they can live rent-free, bill-free, and not contribute anything to the household. The entire table went quiet. Some people, she continued, looking directly at me, need to learn that if you live in someone else's house, you follow their rules. You don't get to be disrespectful. My hands started shaking. Not from fear. From rage. Uncle Bob nodded. That's good parenting, Patricia. Too many kids these days don't understand responsibility. Exactly, Mom said. I've been very patient with her. But patience has its limits. That's when I stood up. You want to talk about responsibility? I said. The whole table looked at me. You want to talk about contributing to the household? Honey, Aunt Linda said softly, maybe this isn't the place. No, I said, my voice getting louder. This is exactly the place. Because my mother wants to give advice about responsibility. I pulled out my phone. Opened my banking app. Mom, what's the address of your house? What? Your house. The one you own. What's the address? She looked confused. You know the address. It's 247 Maple Street. Right. 247 Maple Street. I turned my phone screen toward the table. This is my bank account. These are my automatic payments. I scrolled through the list. Read each one out loud. Mortgage payment to First National Bank. 247 Maple Street. $1,500. Paid by me. Mom's face went pale. Electric bill. Commonwealth Edison. 247 Maple Street. $230 last month. Paid by me. She started to say something. I kept going. Water bill. City of Springfield. 247 Maple Street. $85. Paid by me. Internet, cable, trash pickup, homeowner's insurance. My voice was getting louder with each item. All paid by me. The table was dead silent. Uncle Bob looked confused. Patricia, what is she talking about? Mom's mouth was opening and closing like a fish. She's talking about. Mom stammered, she's talking about contributing to household expenses. Like I said. No, I said, pulling up another screen. I'm talking about this. I showed them the property deed. The one I had saved as a photo on my phone months ago. This is the deed to 247 Maple Street. Owner of record, me. Inherited from Rose Margaret Thompson. My grandmother. Aunt Linda grabbed my phone. Stared at the screen. Patricia, she said slowly, this says your daughter owns the house. That's impossible, Mom said, but her voice was shaky now. Is it? I asked. Is it impossible? Or have you been lying to everyone here? You what, Mom? You forgot that Grandma left the house to me? You forgot that I pay every single bill? You forgot that I've been supporting you for 10 years? Uncle Bob was staring at Mom like he'd never seen her before. Patricia, you told us you owned the house. You said you were financially independent. It's complicated. It's not complicated, I said. It's actually very simple. My mother has been living in my house, rent-free, for 10 years. I pay her mortgage. I pay her utilities. I buy her food. I pay her credit card bills. I pay her car insurance. I was standing now. Everyone in the immediate area was listening. And in return, she tells everyone that she's successful. That she's independent. That I'm the one who should be grateful. That's not. Mom started. That's not what? I interrupted. That's not true? Which part isn't true, Mom? She looked around the table. Everyone was staring at her. You don't understand, she said finally. I'm her mother. It's her responsibility to take care of me. Why? Because I raised her. You raised me? I laughed. It wasn't a nice laugh. You raised me? Mom, I've been taking care of myself since I was 8 years old. I've been taking care of you since I was 18. My voice cracked a little. I work 50 hours a week. I come home to a house that you've messed up. I clean it. I buy groceries with my money. I pay bills with my money. I fix things that break. I handle every single adult responsibility. And you? I looked directly at her. You sit around all day, watching TV, spending money you didn't earn, and then you have the audacity to tell people that you're successful. The silence was deafening. But you know what the worst part is? I said, my voice quiet now. The worst part is that I actually felt sorry for you. I actually thought I was helping you. I picked up my purse. I thought I was being a good daughter. I started walking toward the exit. But good daughters don't enable their mothers to be lazy, entitled liars. I stopped and turned back. Oh, and Mom? When you get home tonight, you might want to start looking for a job. Because tomorrow morning, I'm canceling every automatic payment. Every single one. The power, the water, the internet, the mortgage. Her face went completely white. My house, my rules, remember? Well, it really is my house. And my rules are changing. I walked out of that wedding reception, and I never looked back. The next morning, my phone started ringing at 6 a.m. Mom. I didn't answer. By 7 a.m., she had called 12 times. At 8 a.m., she started texting. We need to talk. This is ridiculous. You can't just abandon your own mother. I'm calling the police. The police. I actually laughed at that one. At 9 a.m. sharp. I called every single utility company. Hi, I'd like to cancel my service at 247 Maple Street, effective immediately. Electric company first. Are you sure, ma'am? There will be a disconnection fee. I'm sure. Disconnect it today. Water company next. Same conversation. Internet and cable. Phone service. Trash pickup. One by one. I canceled everything. The mortgage was trickier. You can't just cancel a mortgage payment. But you can stop making payments. And after 3 missed payments, things get interesting. By noon, Mom had called 37 times. At 12:30, she showed up at my office. My office. Where I work. To pay for her lifestyle. Security called me down to the lobby. There she was. Still in yesterday's makeup. Hair a mess. Looking frantic. You have to fix this, she said the moment she saw me. Fix what? The power is out. The water stopped working. My phone doesn't work. I looked at her calmly. Oh. That's weird. You should call the utility companies. I did. They said the account was cancelled. That is strange. Maybe you should set up new service. I can't afford new service. You know that. The security guard was listening to every word. So were about 15 other people in the lobby. Mom, I said slowly, I thought you were financially independent. That's what you told everyone at the wedding. That's not, that was. That was what? The truth? Or a lie? She looked around. Realized people were staring. Can we please discuss this in private? No. Because I'm at work. At my job. Where I earn money to pay bills. Fine, she snapped. I lied. I can't afford the bills. Are you happy now? I'm not happy, Mom. I'm disappointed. Then fix this. Turn the power back on. I can't do that. Why not? Because it's not my responsibility anymore. I started walking toward the elevator. But I'm your mother, she called after me. I turned around. Yes. You are. And that's exactly why I'm doing this. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside. If you want to learn how to be an adult, now's your chance. The doors closed. But it didn't stop there. Over the next week, my phone never stopped ringing. Not just from Mom. From everyone. Aunt Linda called. You can't just leave your mother homeless. She's not homeless. She has a house. She just needs to figure out how to pay for electricity. But she's never worked. Then maybe it's time she learned. Uncle Bob called. This is cruel. She's family. Family doesn't lie to each other for 10 years. She didn't mean any harm. She told everyone that I was lazy and entitled, while I was paying her bills. If that's not harmful, I don't know what is. My cousin Jake called. Dude, your mom is staying at my place. She's crying constantly. I'm sorry she's upset. But I'm not responsible for her emotions anymore. She says she's going to become homeless. She has a house, Jake. She just needs to get a job to pay for utilities. She's 58. Who's going to hire her? Walmart hires people of all ages. So does McDonald's. So does every grocery store in town. You expect your mother to work at McDonald's? I expect my mother to take responsibility for her own life. But the best calls were from Mom herself. Day 3, I'm starving. The refrigerator doesn't work without electricity. There are food banks, Mom. And soup kitchens. I can't go to a soup kitchen. What if someone sees me? Then I guess you'll have to choose between pride and hunger. Day 5, I applied for jobs. They want references. They want work history. I don't have any work history. Then start with entry-level positions. Everyone has to start somewhere. I'm too old to be starting somewhere. You're 58, not 98. Day 7, I got hired at a grocery store. Part-time. Minimum wage. Congratulations. Congratulations? I'm a cashier. At my age. Work is work, Mom. Be proud that you're finally supporting yourself. I can't live on minimum wage. Then get a second job. Like Dad did. The silence after that comment lasted about 30 seconds. Day 10, I got a second job. Cleaning offices at night. Good for you. I'm exhausted. I've never been this tired in my life. Welcome to adulthood. This isn't fair. You're right. It's not fair. It's not fair that I supported you for 10 years. It's not fair that you lied about it. It's not fair that you slapped me for telling the truth. But I'm your mother. Yes. And I love you. But I don't owe you a free ride through life. By week 3, something interesting happened. She stopped calling every day. By month 2, she had saved enough money to get the electricity turned back on. By month 3, she had water and internet again. Last week, she called to tell me she got promoted to assistant manager at the grocery store. I got a raise, she said. Her voice sounded different. Tired, but stronger somehow. That's great, Mom. I can afford my bills now. All of them. I'm proud of you. Are you? Really? Yes. I really am. I owe you an apology, she said quietly. For what? For everything. For lying. For taking advantage of you. For hitting you. For being a terrible mother. I was quiet for a moment. You weren't always terrible, Mom. But you made some really bad choices. I did. I was scared. After your father died. I was so scared of being poor again. I convinced myself that I deserved to be taken care of. Everyone deserves basic human dignity. But no one deserves a free ride. I know that now. Do you? I do. And I want to pay you back. For all the bills I can't pay you back for the lost years, but I can pay back the money. Mom. No. I need to do this. I've calculated it. With interest. It's going to take me about 15 years, but I need to do this. I started crying. Right there on the phone. Okay, I said. If that's what you need to do, okay. Can I see you sometime? Maybe we could have dinner? I'd like that. I'll pay, she said quickly. I laughed. Split it? Deal. We're having dinner next week. At a restaurant she chose. Nothing fancy. But she's paying her half. And for the first time in 10 years. I'm actually looking forward to spending time with my mother. So, what did I learn from all of this? I learned that sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for someone is to stop enabling them. I thought I was helping my mother by paying her bills. I thought I was being a good daughter. But really, I was just making it easier for her to avoid growing up. She's 58 years old. She had never learned how to budget, how to work, how to take care of herself. And as long as I was doing it for her, she never had to learn. The hardest part wasn't cutting off the utilities. The hardest part wasn't listening to her panic, or her anger, or her accusations. The hardest part was admitting that I had been part of the problem. I enabled her. For 10 years. I made excuses for her laziness. I covered for her lies. I let her treat me badly because I felt guilty about having something she didn't have. But guilt is not love. Love is wanting someone to become the best version of themselves. Even if it's hard. Even if they hate you for it at first. My mother is working 2 jobs now. She's tired, she's stressed, she complains constantly about her feet hurting. But you know what? She's also proud. Really proud. In a way I've never seen before. Last month, she sent me a picture of her first paycheck stub. Look, she texted. I earned this. She earned it. For the first time in her adult life, she earned something. And I'm proud of her too. Not because she's working minimum wage jobs. But because she finally understands what it means to take care of herself. Would I do it again? Would I cut off her utilities and force her to grow up? Absolutely. Because the woman who slapped me in that bathroom, who lied to our family, who took my kindness for granted, that woman is gone. The woman who calls me now to tell me about her job, who asks for advice about budgeting, who wants to pay me back, that's my mother. The real one. The one I always hoped she could be. Sometimes people need to hit rock bottom before they can build themselves back up. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let them fall. And sometimes, just sometimes, they surprise you by learning how to fly. If you have someone in your life who's taking advantage of your kindness, don't feel guilty about setting boundaries. Don't feel guilty about saying no. You're not responsible for fixing other people's lives. Even if they're family. Even if you love them. The only person you're responsible for is yourself. Trust me. I learned that the hard way. If you liked this story, check out this other one on the screen. It's about a woman who discovered her husband was cheating, and how she got the most satisfying revenge I've ever heard of. See you there.